Hello, Patrick. This is a yoga video for you, for when you're feeling out of it and tired and unmotivated and you don't want to do a difficult yoga workout because you're yawning and your eyes are unfocusing. But you still want to do something and you want to get your focus into your body. You want to make some progress. So that's what we're going to do here today. We're still going to be building strength. We're still going to be developing. We're just not going to be pushing super hard. This is not a practice for doing a big push where you get a huge development. It's about repairing the edges around that big push that you've made before, right? So if you're doing the grouse grind, you work your muscles like crazy for 45 minutes. And then afterward, there's a whole bunch of stretching and like supporting muscle exercises that you want to do to hold that new development that you've just made. This is one of those practices where you're going to be building support in your body rather than trying to push your boundaries a lot. You're trying to solidify what you already have. And as you can see, I'm already engaged here. I can feel the inside of my hip flexors are engaged. That kind of tendon there right by the groin on either leg. So you can start to lean back just a little bit, keep the back straight. Don't let it arch or get rounded out. You can come forward onto your sits bones if that helps. We're just gonna hold this for about 3 or 4 more breaths, okay? Straighten the back. Should feel it in those hip flexors. One more breath. Okay, slowly lower it down onto your back. Find a way to do it so that your hip joints don't crack or click on the way down. Find support all the way through. That's the most important. Okay. Now on your back, make sure you get your lower back flat onto the mat so there's no space. And you can bring your knees up above your hips. And this is also going to engage those hip flexors, but much more on your core now. So keep a nice 90-degree angle here and a 90-degree angle here. You want to keep your core fully engaged and let your breathing process go on as normal within your fully engaged core. One more breath. Okay, and bring your knees up towards your chest. We're gonna go into a little bit of a rest pose now. Just let your knees splay nicely out, just gently. Take a 1 or 2 breaths here and relax those legs outward. You can pull on them gently and find somewhere along their range of motion where you get a nice gentle stretch. Maybe feel into there and give it a little bit of a pull just to open up your hips. You can bring one knee slightly up at a time. Getting a stretch in there. Okay. Lower back is still flat against the mat. Now you can bring your feet up toward the sky and reach your hands to your heels
let's say ankles. Hands on your ankles, kind of on the front where your shins are, at the base of your shins. And you can relax your feet here and just hold on to your ankles. And you can use your elbows on each arm to just lightly press out against your legs to, again, get a bit of a stretch in your groin and your hip flexors. Not too much, you don't want to push too hard, just be gentle. And you can explore a little bit in this range of motion, finding a nice stretch that feels good for where your muscles are at. Deep breaths. All right. Now gradually, as you push your knees out with your elbows, you can bring your feet together with your hands, coming into a reclined cobbler's pose, I guess. Is that what this is called? Cobbler's pose? And pushing your knees out and pulling your ankles in, continuing to get a nice stretch in your groin and your hip flexors. Pull a little harder. All right, don't forget to breathe. Give it a couple of breaths here. Okay, we're gonna come out of this now. So you can come and sit up, nice and gentle. We're gonna come into tabletop. Be gentle with your hands here. In fact, you know what? Let's actually take a second. Come on to your heels. Spread those toes out nice so that the top of every toe is pushing down into the ground, including your pinky toes. And keep a little bit of pressure on those toes while you hold this position. Now sit up nice and tall with your chest up, shoulders back and down, shoulders back and down. Lift up those arms straight up. And don't go too hard here, we're just gonna be gentle. But bring your hands back towards your face to engage the muscles in the tops of your arms. Because remember, if you want to be doing plank positions or push-ups or anything like that, anything based on the plank position, if you can't hold your hands at a 90-degree angle to your arms naturally, you're going to be pushing it into that position with the ground, and you're not going to have the muscle support there to prevent wrist injuries. So index fingers pointed straight up and pull them back towards your face. Remember to keep your shoulders down and back. Spread the fingers out. You should be feeling a nice burn in the top of your arm by now. Keep it going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. We're going to do the opposite here just a little bit. Bring your wrists to face down like that. For a bit of a stretch in those muscles you were just working, but also you want to be using the underside of this muscle on the underside of your arm should be engaging to pull those wrists down. So it's a stretch for the top and also a strengthening exercise for the bottom. All right, release that. Give a couple of spins. We're going to do a little bit more arm stretching here, a little bit more arm stretching and strength. Because, as you know, you're in the process of developing this new range of shoulder motion that's based on your shoulders. I'll turn exactly sideways. So when your shoulders are back, like this, you have a range of motion based there, as opposed to when they're forward like this. This is how you're used to moving. So move your shoulders back and down like this. And from that position, bring your arms straight to the side. And if you lift up your hands just a little bit from the ground, you can feel a nice big stretch through the top side of your arms as you point your fingers toward the ground. Like this. So you should be feeling a stretch in the top of your arm. If you're not feeling it, you can bring your shoulders a little more back and even bring your arms a little bit behind you. But find that nice stretch and get to a place where you're feeling the stretch, but it's not too uncomfortable to hold for a good 30 seconds. Okay, so bring it there, getting a nice stretch, and we're gonna do a few deep breaths. Find that edge and keep right on it. All right, with this stretch held, tilt your head now to the right just a little bit and hold for one breath. And over to the left. And okay. Now keep that stretch engaged and lift your arms slowly up, keeping the range of motion back with your shoulder blades engaged in the lifting process here, okay? Lifting them right up to straight T-shaped. Your shoulder blades at the top of your back are engaged here. That's what's holding you in this position. You can maybe now feel a stretch along the bottom of your arm, along the back of your tricep kind of. And there, nice big stretch. Reach your arms out to the side as far as they can go, finding that nice stretch all the way through your arms and your hands. And from here we are gonna play with tilting your hands up a little bit, like you were gonna bring them into a 90-degree angle. You can't get that far, that's okay. You just gotta bring them up a little bit till you get that nice stretch. I can feel it all the way through my middle finger and my pointer finger here. Stretching and strengthening at the same time. But these are very tight muscles. They're not used to this range of motion. And that's what we're developing here, okay? So we're gonna hold it for a good 30 seconds here. Take a few deep breaths with me. You want to stay present and engaged. Because even if you're not working your muscles super hard, although right now you should be feeling it in your muscles, because holding your arms up to the side like this for this length of time is going to develop the muscles in your arms and your shoulders and your back, which is what you want to be doing. You're developing your posture here, you're developing your strength to maintain an upright position, which is amazing for your energy, and it's amazing for the way that you feel just going about your day when your muscles are used to holding yourself in an upright position. So it has a lot of benefits holding this position. And the thing we want to really focus on here is keeping your attention in the body, staying where you are right here. This is like a prolonged meditation that you're in right now, okay? It's just a meditation that's active and engaged. And that's the best kind of meditation as far as I'm concerned. Okay, you should be feeling a nice burn in your shoulders, tops of your shoulders. You can straighten those hands out so you're not getting that anymore. Give your wrists a little twist. We're gonna slowly, ever so slowly, bring your arms upward, keeping them all the way back with your shoulders and your shoulder blades engaged. Now this is about as high as I can go with that group of muscles staying engaged like I'm describing. So this is my maximum. I'm gonna hold it here for 2 more breaths. Push through. Okay, and nice and slow, release all the way down through that range of motion. No clicks. Very good, well done. Well done. That was tough. Okay, I'm feeling warmed up. I'm feeling a little more engaged in what I'm doing here, engaged in my body. So we're gonna come into a
forearm plank and get a little bit of heat going. We're not gonna push too hard in this plank. We're just going to get some gentle activation, okay? So, come into a nice tabletop, knees hip width apart, tops of the feet flat on the ground, all of your toes pushing into the ground. And then come down to your forearms and come a little bit towards the front of the mat. You can choose if you want to keep your palms down and arms parallel, or if you want to bring them together into a lock like this, or just one hand over the other fist. All right, take a second here. Get a little bit of movement in your hips. Gentle movement in the spine. All right, ready? Well, we're not going to hold it too long, just about 30 seconds, okay? We're going to come into a forearm plank. Keep your pelvis tucked in, pointing up towards your face, and your glutes engaged. That's how you're going to get the most out of this. You're keeping your butt engaged, your core is very engaged, and you're pushing your pubic bone up towards your face. All right. Consistent breathing. Last breath in. And come to the knees. Good work. All right. Come back towards your heels, butt on your heels. Just a little bit of counter. Relax those abs. All right. And come into an extended child pose. Knees as wide as the yoga mat. Okay. We're going to keep our back straight and our chest up, just like we were practicing earlier with our arms and our posture. We're going to come down, feeling your hips opening here, and bring your arms up beside you to get that shoulder blade engagement, and then bring them forward and down. And the top of your back, your shoulder blades are engaged here and pulling together. And you want to walk your hands out as far as they'll comfortably go. And we're going to hold this for a minute here. This is a workout for your shoulder blades, for the top of your back, for the muscles that connect your shoulders up into your neck and down into your back. All of that is engaged right now. All right, and relax. Very nice. Okay. We're going to keep it fairly gentle here, but we are going to come up to a standing posture. We're going to do a couple of high lunges, just gentle, just for some light leg engagement. Get your glutes working, get your thighs working. All right, so you can make your way up to standing. This tripod situation is not going to do me much good for a standing posture, I don't think. Let's see if we can get it up here. Is that gonna be better for us? All right, we'll see. It's not going to be perfect, but you'll get the idea. Get your hips nice and squared. You want your
butt cheeks to be pulling together so that if you were holding a block between your legs, it would come forward. That's the external rotation of your hips that you want. And that brings your pelvis forward. You'll engage your core, stand up nice and tall. This is a great trick for getting your posture right, is to engage your glutes, engage your butt muscles here. And it forces the rest, not forces, but the rest of your upper body will fall into alignment if your glutes are engaged and pushing your hips outward into this nice external rotation. But you can do all of this with your feet pointing straight forward, so you'll feel a nice push down in your heels. Just come into a mountain pose for a moment here. Shoulders back, glutes engaged, standing up tall. Okay. Now take your right foot forward just a small step and left foot just a little bit back. So we're in a nice triangle here. Let's actually start with a little stretch here. So in your triangle, keep your back straight and come slowly forward until you feel the outside of this front leg start to stretch. So get a nice gentle stretch. Only come as far as is comfortable. Your back straight. And actually, let's bend that front knee a little bit to get your hands down to the ground. Back straight. Okay, that's the most important, as you know. Don't want the back bend here, so start with your front leg bent, and slowly straighten it just a little bit. Find the part of your leg that has the most tightness. So if there's a way that you can twist your leg slightly so that you find, for me it's on this kind of outside tendon here is very tight. So that's the one that I want to work on pulling, because I want my whole leg to be equally flexible so that nothing's getting pulled kind of out of alignment by tight muscles. You want nice, well-developed, well-rounded muscles all around your legs. These are the muscles that are supporting your knees and your ankles and your hips. And you want them to be functioning well so that you don't get any joint injuries or permanent damage. Alright, feeling a nice stretch in here. We're going to hold this for quite a while, okay? We want to explore the different stretches you can get in here, keeping it engaged all the time. So the exact stretch you're doing can change a little bit, but you want there to always be a muscle that's under tension, right? That's being pulled. And we're not using your muscle to stretch here, we're just using the weight of gravity to lean down and pull back. All right, and yeah. That's nice. Give it a little bend and straighten it. And this way you are using the muscles that are opposing, so the muscles that are engaging are pushing the leg to straight, and that's also stretching some muscles, because some muscles can't actually naturally make it to straight, so they have to be pulled into that. They're not stretchy enough, they're not flexible enough. So, they're not long enough is what I mean. They haven't been stretched to length and straightened within that length. So right now, use your muscles to push your leg into straight and bend it back. And that muscle that's being stretched, you want to feel a nice gentle pull on it the whole way. You don't want any jumps and leaps in between. What we're trying to develop is a range of motion with no gaps in it, okay? You want to be able to fully support yourself through every movement. You don't want to be tossing yourself from one position to the next using momentum and kind of catching, like one muscle kind of tossing and then you catch it with a different muscle. You want to be able to have engagement all the way through so that you have smooth motion and there's no gaps where you can get injured. Because if you have a gap in your muscle support, that's a place where if you put your weight there, the muscle doesn't support it and you end up getting pressure on your joints. and on your bones. So make sure you keep that nice engaged stretch all the way through the motion that you're doing here. All right, this is getting good. Okay, bend that knee, come a little bit forward, and slowly start to lift your back leg. You can keep your fists on the ground if that helps. Right now, you want to be engaging. Right now, I'm engaging that same muscle that I was just stretching. It's now holding me in place. My knee's a little bit bent here. You can work to straighten it, but don't push past where you can support yourself, okay? Keep it within your range of support here. If you're feeling nice and strong, well supported, keep that glute engaged. You want the muscle to be going active all the way from up here right through into your knee. So keep that glute engaged and maybe lift up to a one leg stand. Engaged glute. Very nice. Okay, we're gonna switch our legs here. You can find some nice gentle movement in between. Wow, see my right leg already feels way more open than my left leg if I'm doing a forward fold. So, bring your right foot back. Make that same triangle that you were just in, but with your left foot forward now. All right. Front knee bent, and bring your belly right down onto your top of your thigh here, and keep your back. The preference is arched rather than bent over forward. Your lower back should be completely flat, or even a little bit arched, because that's going to keep the muscles stretched that are usually really tight, connecting your lower back to your hips and to your legs. And it's that tightness that pulls on your muscles and gets your legs out of alignment, so that one part of your leg is more supported than another part of your leg, and that leads to knee injuries and knee pain, chronic knee pain. So you want to, if you find that there's any part of your muscle, like maybe it feels like one tendon kind of stretching down your leg that's really tight, that's where your work is. That's the one that you want to work on. So find that and get it under a nice gentle pull of a stretch, and we're going to hold this for quite a while. So you can be moving it around. You can use your muscle to straighten into it. You can play with leaning forward a little bit here, just to find different angles on that stretch. Find the places where it's really tight, okay? It's going to be specific sides of your leg that are tighter than other sides, and that's where you want to find, and you want to lean into it a little. It's going to hurt a little bit, but not in a, you don't want it to hurt exactly, but you know that feeling when you're stretching, and it's that stretching hurt. You want to find a nice edge that you can hold for a good 30 seconds, a good couple of minutes, this kind of thing. Because that is where you're really going to feel the difference. Not in pushing the stretch farther than you can for 5 seconds. It's about finding your edge and holding right on that edge for a good long time. So keep moving around. Make sure you're always under the pull of the stretch. You're gently stretching out that muscle. This is going to be really good for your knees, really good for your lower back. These are the muscles that connect your back to your legs, and they're so tight. They're so tight, so you're not getting the proper support that you could be getting with these muscles if they were developed to their full extension and strengthened from there. Instead of, when some of your muscles are not flexible and others are, that means that one side of your leg, the muscles are shorter than the other side, and it's pulling everything out of alignment. You don't want that. So it's best to find these places where you have more tension and ride that edge. Ride that edge. All right, we're going to start coming forward now onto the leg, just like we were with the other side. Make sure you keep the glute engaged and keep finding that stretch. I'm actually not sure I'm going to go up onto this leg because the stretch is really tight in this position I'm in right now. And I just want to keep that active. So we'll see. I might lift up here in a second, but that's not the goal. The goal right now is to improve the overall functionality of the systems connecting your back and your legs. Stretching these upper leg muscles. Very tight here in my left leg. Very tight. All right, I'm going to come up now. Glute engaged. These muscles you were just stretching, those muscles are the muscles you want to engage now to hold yourself in this position. You shouldn't have any pain in your knee here. If you do, you need to adjust. You need to adjust, or you need to put off this position for now. No pain. Pain is not what we want. We want discomfort. We want to hold the edge of discomfort in a way that we can feel we're growing. We don't want pain. Okay. And release. Come down to your feet. Come down to your butt. And make your way onto your back. Very nice. Well done. Give a little shake out. That's good. Very good. All right. We're going to come back into the position we were in before with our knees up to our chest. Now keep your hips square and pull your knees, just using your muscles, down towards your chest like this, but keep them nice and square, not splaying out. Now from here, slowly straighten your legs, very slowly. Now you don't want to have any clicks here, you don't want to have anything like that. So if you feel that your knee is about to click, which this is, I'm mentioning it because it's a problem I've had. If you feel your knee is going to click, stop there. And bring it up using your muscles to the edge of where you can. Toes pointing down towards your face, flexed foot. You're engaging the top of your thighs here, okay? That's the muscle that's doing all of this work. It's your thigh muscles, the top of your muscles. And as you tighten this muscle coming along the top of your thigh here, as you tighten it and contract it, it pulls your feet, it pulls your legs straight. That's what you want to do here. You're getting now, again, a stretch through the backs of your entire leg here, nice flexed foot. But you're holding it there with muscle, and you're holding it into the stretch as much as you can with your own muscle power. Keep your back nice and flat on the floor. If your legs are shaking, that's good. Mine are. You should be feeling equal parts stretch and strengthening in the top of your thighs here because you're pulling actively. And okay, bring them straight up. This, from all the stretches we've been doing, this is now pretty much a passive, relaxed position here. Legs straight up, my feet are relaxed. So from here, we're gonna do some more upper leg solidifying, just gentle. We're gonna bring our legs out to the side. We're gonna do it really slow and really gentle. We want a nice, smooth, controlled descent all the way. So if there's a point where you don't have that smooth, controlled descent, if there's clicking or if there's a gap in your strength, that's okay. That's what we're here to fix. So we want to slow it down, find a nice slow path down to wide legs. Keep your legs perfectly straight and bring them down. You'll find you get to a certain point where there's one muscle or one muscle that's getting stretched. That's good. Don't push it too hard. Hold your legs up with your strength so that they don't fall down. And then push gently into that stretch. You want to keep your legs engaged. Keep the muscles along the inside of your legs here, you want them to be engaged. Hold down. All the muscles are engaged. We're going to hold here for a few seconds, okay? Nice big stretch. Lower back's flat on the mat. Core is engaged. You can bring your legs a little bit up towards your head and then down towards the bottom of the mat. Find some nice gentle motion here to engage the muscles that are surrounding to increase your support for that whole range of motion. All right, very nice. And back up to the top. Okay, you can bring your feet down and plant them on the mat. I definitely feel the engagement in the top of my thighs here. Feel the work I've been doing. Okay, bring your feet flat onto the mat, just to the point where if you reach your fingers out, your fingertips will touch your heels. Keep them nice and square. We're gonna come up into a bridge posture, not for too long here. So, slowly rise up. Rise your hips up toward the sky. Glutes engaged, your butt muscles engaged. And curve your pelvis up towards your face to keep your back nice and straight, not letting it arch. And you don't need to go too high. We're mainly working on leg engagement in this video. We're working on the stability of the whole section of your body that really is your core, but people think of your core as your abs. Your core is really what connects your upper body and your lower body. And it's all these muscles connect through your hips into your legs and into your abs, into your back. So keep the knees nice and straight. And right now the tops of my thighs and my glutes are very engaged. That's where the workout is happening here. That's where I'm feeling the burn. We're gonna hold it here for a few more seconds. Take a few breaths. Shouldn't have any pain in the knees. If you do, you can adjust, find a comfortable posture here so that you're getting the muscle engagement. Glutes engaged, glutes engaged. No pain in the lower back, no pain in the knees. It's the same external rotation in the hips that we were talking about at the beginning of the video. You want your hips to be opening up. This will be great for your posture, great for your core strength. Okay, 3, 2, 1. And lower it down to the mat. Very nice. Okay, well your legs should definitely be feeling it now. Mine are. Mine certainly are. So sit up nice and tall. In this position, I already feel a little bit of hip flexor engagement just from holding my legs here. What we're gonna do is, from this position, slowly walk your feet out a little bit. And keep them bent, so I have a good, 5 or 6 inches underneath my knees here. And you can reach forward, keep your back nice and straight. If you can, hook your hands over your toes to grab the bottoms of your feet, right over the top, so your fingers are resting kind of in that, on the arch of your foot. Back straight is the top priority here, and then work to push those knees down toward the ground and find again, just like before, find a gentle edge that you can hold for a little bit. You can do one leg at a time if that helps. I find that helps. Kind of straighten one leg and keep the other one bent. And then switch. Bringing one leg down and keeping a nice pull through it, finding a good stretch. Okay, I think that's just about it. One last thing I would recommend is you come into a nice feet together at the center touching, cobbler's pose. You can bring your butt up towards your feet as much as is comfortable and work to push your knees down a little bit to get a nice stretch through the outside. You can give it one side at a time like this and like this, and feel a nice stretch down through your side body and into the outside of your hips, down into your legs. This one's really nice. I like doing this exercise, this stretch. Oh, because it feels so good. Okay. All right. Great work. Well done.